Welcome back to The Watch, and it's finally time, Tyrant. Finally, James Gunn, after promising to show us something in January, has graced us with some news about the DCU.
You see, when we first heard about him taking over DC, my interest went, phew.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Henry Cavill and all the people that I really like were fired,
Bow. It's just-
I don't care no more. I don't care. Like, anything that they announce, it's like,
So, should we get into it, or should we just talk a little bit about our feelings beforehand?
I think our feelings are pretty
Okay.
well known. I think we should jump straight into it, but I haven't actually seen this. Have you seen this yet?
I've started watching it.
I have
not finished it.
I have no idea what's in store for this. So.
There's more stuff about Henry Cavill we can talk about after this as well, because I think that's the biggest issue that's arisen from all of this sort of stuff. Yeah. Especially with what he does say later. Yeah, we should just get into it, I think. Let's just get into the news.
Because I have no idea.
Start reacting to it.
Buddy, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected.
Okay, whoa, all right, hold on. DC's been disconnected for a long time. This is true. So the first thing you do is come in and take away all the things people like
and all the things that are connected.
Yeah, that are connected. Like, really?
Also, I think it's funny that he's like, our job is to make it all connected. It's like, actually, no, your job is to make a good product, good stories.
Henry Cavill is a good product.
Honestly, I'm fine with like disconnected characters, because you know what? I am sick of the MCU always being like, this next movie's connected, this next movie's connected, this next movie.
Hold on.
Like, I'm.
The DC is very different than Marvel.
Yeah.
The DC continuity, like the overarching universe, is wicked.
It is. I agree.
So,
but I'm saying that
so seeing that interconnected would be awesome. Like seeing Watchtower with all the heroes in there would be the coolest thing in the world.
And they can have that. They can have those connections. I'm just saying, you've already got these good things going for you. Don't try and just copy MCU, because you're not MCU.
Yeah, you're better.
Gaming and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I...
Okay, I'm sorry, Elseworlds is a bit of a dumb name.
I don't care.
Don't give me Teen Titans Go. Give me OG Teen Titans, please. Give me the next few seasons of that show, because I finished watching it recently and I realized they just ended it out of there was no closure. Give me more Teen Titans, please. Also, this is very confusing. He mentioned the Batman and the Joker and stuff.
Yeah, he did.
So there's still going to be things they're making in DCU that aren't connected to the DCU.
Which is dumb, because then everybody, that's the same problem that they've had to begin with.
Yeah, they're just continuing the problem, but cancelling other people things that...
you come in and say that this is the problem, things are this, and then you go, here, we're going to still do all of that, though.
Yeah.
In terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love.
The Flash, a fantastic movie that he really loves. Everybody else doesn't love it, and everybody else doesn't want it. Seriously, dude, what the...
Again, this is just marketing ploy thing. I think he's his hand's been forced to bring up this movie. But also, I feel like
if you can't be honest, then why
don't
bother?
say it.
Just shut up. Yeah. Don't say it if you can't be honest.
Don't bring it up if you just can't be honest about it. So, also
I can't wait to read the comments on this. I cannot wait to read the comments on this.
That resets the entire DC universe.
So the Flash is going to retcon everything. Which makes me think that this is going to be an awful movie where they just undo everything that we've all loved.
Does it reset Ezra Miller as Flash? Does it?
I don't know.
Answer me, Nathan.
I don't know.
No, I don't care. Answer me.
I don't know.
Give me the answers.
I hope not, but I'm scared that it will.
Oh, it's going to be a disaster. I hope it flops. I just hope it flops. Seriously.
The Flash, yeah.
Yeah, I hope it flops. It deserves it.
I mean, at this point, they don't... And the dumb thing is, he's like, hey, Shazam his own thing, he'd do whatever. Okay, well, you're ignoring the fact that like things are all disconnected, so it's okay for that movie for some reason to be, you know,
like Shazam is very connected to like Justice League. You know?
Yeah. And as well, then it's like, and then it goes to Flash, and that like retcons everything, and that changes things up. It's a great movie. It's like, okay, if you want to start from like fresh and whatever, just shelve those movies if you have to.
Well, the thing is, the Snyderverse up to this point hasn't really done much. All it's really done is introduce the main characters. Yeah, that's all it's like. Any of the overarching story, like we haven't gotten, you know, things like Watchtower or the full Justice League story, or they were starting to lead into the Darkseid storyline, but they didn't even get there. So it's like, what are you retconning? The beginning?
Yeah.
Like,
just start from the start again.
All we got is like what? Man of Steel, which introduced Superman into the Snyderverse. Then we got, what was it?
There was Batman v Superman.
And that introduced Batfleck, which I like. And then we got things like Wonder Woman and Aquaman, which were all introductory movies.
Yeah, or origin stories.
Yeah, and then we got, what's it called? There was some other things like Suicide Squad and stuff like that, but honestly...
That's the thing though, right? They rebooted Suicide Squad like that. They like did the first one, it didn't do very well, we'll just do it again. Yeah. And instead he's like, no, we've got to interweave Flash into all of this.
Yeah. Then we got, what was it? The Snyder Cut of... Justice League, which the Snyder Cut wasn't... It was definitely better than what we got for the original one, the original cut. Then we got Black Adam. They're all just intro movies. They're all like, we haven't even gotten to the meat of anything yet. Yeah,
it's all just been.
You're rebooting what exactly?
Nothing.
You're rebooting nothing.
You're rebooting nothing. So that's what I find done with this.
Move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film.
Do you care about Blue Beetle?
No, I do not care about Blue Beetle.
Neither. I have no care for Blue Beetle.
About a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then
see when he has to
when he says that, it makes me think they want this to be their Spider-Man. That's immediately like, this is a great kid, and it's like, we want our own Spider-Man.
Well, I just think it's a warning sign when he has to explain to you the premise of what Blue Beetle is. Yeah, because it's like you haven't heard,
because nobody knows.
Yeah,
because nobody cares.
Yeah, so okay. I'm sorry, but that's not very strong out the gate.
Yeah.
Give me Superman!
Look, there's a reason why, if you look at the Snyderverse, they started with all the core heroes. Because they're the core seven of... Is it seven? I think it's seven. Seven of the Justice League. You introduce all of them first, and then you make the rest.
Instead, we get a Flash, which retcons everything, and then Blue Beetle out the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Flash is not a good starting point as a character for the Justice League. You'd probably want to start with... depending which way they wanted to go with it, you know, like Batman.
Superman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Any one of those things. Yeah. But no, Blue Beetle is the way to go to restart the DCU.
There's a reason why Zack Snyder started with Superman. Because it kick-started everything. Yeah. It rebooted Superman, and along with it, the DC universe. Yeah. But no, let's start with Blue Beetle. That is big brain time. Let's go.
To Aquaman 2, which...
Aquaman 2! So the sequel to the Aquaman movie...
So they're not rebooting. They're not rebooting. What are you doing?
Well, I think they're going to retcon things.
Something that just occurred to me. So, Black Adam, a lot of people didn't know who he was before the movie. Now, Black Adam is a wicked character. He's actually really cool.
He's cool.
The fight between like him, Shazam, and Superman, that's top tier stuff. And that flopped. Yeah. How do you think Blue Beetle's going to do? I'm sorry, I'm harping on about Blue Beetle,
but it's like, true though.
Like, what are you doing?
Why are you telling me about? Yeah, it's dumb. And the fact that it's like we are retconning everything. Everything's like the Flash is going to basically saying it's the last thing that was left on the list of things that was here before I came.
Aquaman 2 was as well, because we had the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing. That's why he's saying, well, that's why we've still got this. We want to get that done as well. It's like...
And somehow you want to intertwine that old DCU Snyderverse thing with your new stuff as well? Yeah. And you won't bring back Superman?
Yep.
Sorry, Henry Cavill.
It's one of those things. I feel like the Henry Cavill thing was the real problem. Yeah. Because like if you just kept him, people can be like, all right, we really don't want to do this whole rebooting thing again. But hey, at least you've kept all the things we really love. That's how people felt when he first took in charge. Then you get rid of Henry Cavill. We're like, okay, well,
and keep everyone else.
Yeah, and keep the worst of everyone else.
Ezra Miller.
Leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming.
Okay, I need to stop him right there. Because he says that, but then as soon as one of those flops, we need to reboot again.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Black Adam. What was the talk like before that? Oh, we're going to be doing it right. We're going to be doing it for the fans. Black Adam didn't do well. We need to reboot the entire universe. Like, really?
Also, the fact they want to connect TV, movies, and games.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do.
That is hard to do.
You're asking a lot. Also,
because as soon as you have a game, for example, take something like when Star Wars with The Force Unleashed. Great games, but they can't connect to canon because they create really big issues.
And I just feel like TV shows, movies, you can somewhat connect them because they're the same medium, just different lengths.
Just different lengths, yes.
Games is a whole other ball game.
Basically, because you need to be the main character in the game, you need to be able to do all the really cool stuff, which doesn't really gel when you're trying to sell a big multi-arc story.
Making games takes a long time, and games, especially in more recent years, delays all the time. And you can't have that when you're having movies coming out at the same time as games and things not lining up properly. Like that's... Yep. Look, am I interested in seeing some DCU games? Sure, I'd love to be.
I would love to play a Superman game like the Spider-Man remastered games.
Yeah.
That would be wicked.
Be awesome.
I would really like that.
I'm just, again, very doubtful of this. Like, again,
that's not going to happen.
These are the best people they could find for the job, right? And we are still, as fans, like, you sure you can pull this off? Because we really aren't.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah.
First chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
So,
the
phase
first
one,
project
phase
is
two.
Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action.
It's a good concept. I don't like the animation. Okay, I don't like this art style we're seeing.
Okay.
So why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because for the last 2 decades, DC has had Bruce Timm's art style. It's a very distinct and very, really, really good art style. It's been used in the Batman animated series. It's been used in Justice League Unlimited. It's been used in like the movies, the animated movies.
Yeah.
It's a very distinct art style. This is not that.
I find it interesting as well that he's writing a lot of these stories.
Yes.
That is interesting to me because...
Do CEOs do that?
Apparently they do now.
I mean, I like the concept of someone at the top keeping their hand on the wheel of the stories.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get continuity. Like you have George Lucas with Star Wars. All the Star Wars, relatively speaking...
I was going to say, that's a bad example because...
Relatively speaking, can gel together. But when you just have, one giant writers team for each different project, all of a sudden things start conflicting and you start having issues.
And I think it makes sense, to have at least him writing the overarching story of things. But I'm thinking he's taking a lot of his time out just to write full scripts with everything in the story. And I'm scared, like for now it's fine because he has lots of time. But when the ball gets rolling and he needs to get those scripts out the door quickly to such, like things are going to get rushed.
Are you interested in this? I'm curious.
The cartoon thing right now just doesn't interest me. I'm also concerned with the whole voice acting thing. Paying an actor to act in live action compared to doing a voice actor work, very different pay grades. I'm not sure.
I like that though in concept because we have a lot of examples of when you have a really, really good voice actor and then in live action they don't get cast as the guy. And you're kind of like, I don't like this.
I do like that, but I'm also scared of the reverse where there's these big name actors who are being these characters and then they have to voice act. I think it's going to be issues because it's contract work as well. You need to be on contract for 8 years.
Yeah.
You're doing this many movies and this many cartoons. That's a big ask.
I think they're going to go for newer actors for a lot of stuff, which I am actually for because I'm sick of seeing the same actors in every movie.
Yeah.
So I think the concept, I like this.
Yeah.
Because we have had a lot of issues in the last, however many years of voice actors not getting the actual live action roles, things feeling a bit disjointed, or them playing a live action one and then them adapting it into it, and it's someone else completely.
Yeah.
So I like the concept.
I just think it's tricky because I think voice actors, like there's those few people, like you said, that like you hear their voice and you wish they had that in the live action. I just feel like some voice actors, they can sound like characters but not necessarily look like them.
But I think they'll be casting actors to that they're going to be, you're going to be playing live action.
Yeah.
So you're going to act as a character, but you will also do the voice. I think that's the way. They're not going to go like, oh, you're a good voice actor. But like, you can also act.
I'm annoyed
I don't think they're
like,
going to do that.
Voice acting is that like it's art in itself.
It is.
And some of those actors have never done voice work before, so they're going to have to like learn to be good voice actors.
It is, but I feel like this is a good solution to an issue that I feel like is an issue. We have this a lot because there is a lot of times where things are adapted from animation to live action, and it just feels weird. Or it's the opposite way around. Something does really well in live action, they go, let's make an animated series about this to continue it, and everything just doesn't gel.
Yeah. So, look, I think it's one of those bait and see things for me.
It is.
I have to.
As for the characters and the story, I don't really care.
I don't have nothing here is interesting for me. I'm sorry.
I'm just worried this is going to be like some comedy.
The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller,
Why?
played by Viola Davis.
Why?
Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
Do you know who Amanda Waller is?
Yes.
Like, I'm guessing you've seen like movies and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's the gist of her character.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. She is more of a background character. Things like the Suicide Squad are set up by her, and they do the tasks for her, and it's outside government purview, stuff like that. It's not a good story as like a focal main character, though.
Again, I think this would be cool to see after she's been in some of them. Like, I know she's already been in the movies. I'm talking about show me your mainline stuff, and then have these interesting characters, and then you're like,
this is very much a side story stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is not main. Like the only time when Amanda Waller like interacts with like Justice League or Batman or something like that is always a tangential sort of thing. It's never like this is the main thing. Like, where is the Justice League is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
The main thing.
I don't know where they are. But again, this would be. I'd be fine with this. Would I watch it or not? I don't know. I'm okay with it being made if it's like there's a Suicide Squad movie. It ends with her.
Peacemaker's good. Peacemaker's good.
Like Peacemaker.
But I have literally no interest in watching an Amanda Waller show. I just don't.
Like you need to foreshadow it in a different series. You can't just be like, and here it is.
Okay.
You want Justice League? I'm sorry.
Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big...
Whoa, 2025?
Yeah.
How long you think you got, bro? Like, 2025?
Yeah. 2 years.
Is this the one how he wants to do a younger Superman?
I don't know. It's just, he hasn't told us that. It's just Superman Legacy, whatever that means. He's writing it. He's enjoying writing it. That's all the information we've been given by him.
I just feel so incredibly depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I love Superman. He's one of my favorite characters ever. And I just don't care.
We're going to get him in 2 years' time. After all this other stuff comes out
After all this other side
Yeah.
meal stuff that I don't care about comes out, I'll get something that I'm interested in. But even then, I won't care because it's not Henry Cavill. Like, I want to see more Henry Cavill stuff.
Yeah.
We barely got any proper Superman, actual proper Metropolis super. We didn't even get Metropolis.
Huh.
We didn't even get Metropolis. We didn't even get a proper Superman adaptation from Henry Cavill. That's just what I want to see. I want to see that. Nathan, I want to see.
That's all that.
I want that too.
I want that too.
I want it too so much. Let's see what else.
Premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space.
Jesus Christ. I was just about to say, this is fantastic. Like, this actually sounds pretty solid.
Yeah.
Seeing some lantern stuff. And then he says True Detective. I think, I don't know why they never did it in the Snyderverse. They were just too scarred from the other one, which was a dumb mistake because Green Lantern is either John Stewart or Hal Jordan. They are integral to the Justice League. So I think it's finally time that they're doing something. Thank you. But when he adds on the True Detective bit, I have literally no idea.
Yeah.
What? Why?
HBO TV series, True Detective. Doesn't feel very super to me at all.
Yeah. None of this is like
Exciting.
Yeah. Like
there's no hype.
I really don't want to even say this, but I get more like when I see Marvel's lineup, I go, oh, that actually might be good. Or this actually might be okay. And I'm sick of Marvel and I'm really done with it. And I like DC more. And this I'm just going, eh.
These cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm character.
I think he has too many passion projects.
Yeah.
Because he's written the cartoon series, he's writing Superman, he's written this one. Like, those are 3 projects. And you want to get all these out when?
Yeah. So, because I'm thinking, because he mentioned Superman in 2025, and now he's mentioning these after him. Does that mean these are coming after? For like a full 10-year period?
Hopefully he tells us.
If I'm going to be honest here. If this is your 10-year period, these are all kind of boring, dude. Like, legit. Say what you will about Marvel putting out about a ton of mid stuff, but at least there's like a few gems in there every now and then.
At least we got the good stuff to begin with.
Yeah.
They came out the gate with Iron Man, Captain America,
it was banger
Hulk.
after banger. So there's a lot of content that you can go back and go, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I can rewatch this.
Yeah.
With the DC, there isn't that.
Yeah.
And that's what really annoys people because we don't have any of that stuff to go, oh, well, we can go back to this and watch it.
At least we can, you can watch Superman Returns.
God, they're so
Superman 1 and 2.
real. Wait, which ones?
They're like the originals.
With Christopher Reeves. Yeah, but like that's before our time.
They've aged, unfortunately. I mean, I still love them.
Hey, to be careful,
but
man.
they've
People
aged.
will get like rabid about that.
I still think they're awesome movies. Okay, listen to the
All
soundtrack.
The Flash from the 90s. That was cool as.
Yeah.
I loved his suit. It was super dark red.
Isn't that sad though? Like all the good stuff is like 80s, 90s. Like yeah, good times. Anything past that, we're like, oh.
I still haven't watched Black Adam. I think I'll like it. Just because I'm getting at least something.
You'll get something, but at the same time, he's not as much of a
villain.
Like yeah,
I sort of expected that coming out of the gate because they're on this real.
It's just very.
They've
confusing.
got a real boner for like.
I mean,
we don't want people to be real villains. Yeah, you can.
Can I tell you that like the worst part is at the very end when Henry Cavill shows up.
I saw that scene.
Yeah.
It's like
it's the most annoying scene because and the story makes no sense and then like it ends with this promise of like you're not getting it. We'll talk about that once we go through this video because there's been stuff about James Gunn's talked about that basically.
Yeah, I'll actually want to show you once we're done with this my favorite DC like clip of all time.
What is it for those who
don't know? It's the DC Online game. You know how when they do trailers, game trailers?
Yeah.
It is fire. And it's from
cinematic trailer,
it's from like over a decade old and it is still fire.
It's probably from the same guys. They do all the cinematic trailers for
with
games.
the BioWare ones from Star Wars? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they are
Blur, that's the company. They always do.
We are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters.
But where are they?
The Authority are a group of superheroes.
Our primary
who
DC
think
characters?
the world
You haven't
is
introduced
broken
them yet,
and
man.
They want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is...
I love how he just skips over that.
Interesting how he says that. Doesn't mention Wonder Woman. It's the island that she originates
from. Themyscira,
but she's not going to be in it.
So...
And it's going to be Game of Thrones. What is that like?
Yeah, what does that mean?
They've keep saying that. Rings of Power was Amazon's Game of Thrones.
It was not Game of Thrones in the slightest.
Like, you keep adding on Game of Thrones, but what does that even mean anymore? It has no meaning. They always toss it around.
Well, if I say to you House of Dragon was Game of Thrones, but done right, you'd be like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But when you just apply it to random things, it doesn't mean anything.
It's like, our new Night's Watch series is like Game of Thrones, but it's 3 guys talking at a table. What does that mean? It doesn't connect.
And on top of that, it's no Wonder Woman.
Yeah. just completely ignore one of the main characters who you keep referencing, but you never say the name.
You know how he said, like, oh, DC was out of touch before. Dude, you're out of touch. Nobody cares about all this. We just want, just start with the core 7 of the Justice League.
Give me Justice League.
How hard is that? It's super, there's a reason why they started with Iron Man, then Captain America, then Thor, and then they moved on to all the other characters. There's a reason why they did that. There's a reason why Zack Snyder started with Superman, and then Batman, and then Wonder Woman. There's a reason for it. It's not just random.
The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
So that's way, 2028 maybe? 2027, 2029?
2030?
Maybe.
Was that a TV show or movie?
Who knows?
Let's go back and check.
I don't think he said. Film. It's
Batman.
film.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy.
Yes, he is. Booster Gold is a really cool character. So basically, Booster Gold's from the future. I'm pretty sure he's like a football star or something in the future.
Right.
And he basically stole some tech, came back in time, and is like being a hero. And he has like a talking robot and stuff. He's genuinely kind of like a cult classic cool hero. He is, for sure. Cool. But there's still
you're still like, where is the Justice League?
Yeah, we're still missing first off, getting a proper Flash. We're also, Aquaman's still going to be Jason Momoa. Who knows? I mean, we have our Superman at this point, which will be someone we don't like. Then we have things like Wonder Woman. Nothing about that. Green Lantern, Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan, I don't know. Maybe the show will answer that question. No Cyborg yet. Maybe we'll get to that later in the video. This is...
Yeah, we are 4 minutes into a 5-minute video, and we still haven't got anything proper Justice League.
What is crazy about this is, if this is the 10-year plan, then that's another 10 years of DC that I'm super bored about.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. This is the thing. It's you guys watching, you just think we like being negative. We don't. We want to be positive. I want to be positive. I really want this to be fantastic. I really want to like this stuff. But, my dude, you're not inspiring confidence. The first thing you did was come in and throw out all the things people want. And I liked his Peacemaker. I did. I actually liked his Peacemaker. His version of Peacemaker and, the movie, the show. But, man...
He's a loser from the future who uses future...
A loser from the future?
Yeah. Basically, I'm pretty sure he, loses everything and becomes,
Right.
And he basically steals tech, goes
back time
to be really cool and be, a great hero.
Okay, cool.
Technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
Again, lots of HBO stuff, which we've seen is very hit and miss.
Yes, but at least we know, even if it's hit or miss, the production quality is really good. Velma doesn't count.
Velma was
animated.
Okay, production quality is great, but is the story good? Are the actors going to be good?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You're asking me,
I know, but I'm saying, people, they're like, oh, HBO, it's going to be all right.
At least I know that I don't have to worry about production quality and how things will look. If it's a Netflix series, I'm like, ooh, okay, how's this going to look and how's the story going to be?
Yeah.
At least with HBO, I'm like, all right, at least even if it's a dumpster fire, I know that it visually will look fine.
The cope we need to get through these.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah. I got a bag of copium back there, yeah.
One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing.
Okay. There's nothing really he said there that I'll be like, oh, this is terrible or good or anything like that. It's just yeah. My gripe is it depends how the Superman goes.
Yeah.
Before you get to that.
Yeah.
Like Superman comes first. Then we do the Supergirl stuff.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
Again, I don't know what it is with his setups. Like he's like, we're adapting this from the comic, but there's nothing for me as a viewer to get excited about.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the lore of what was in the comic.
But then even
Great,
then,
I can go read the comic.
Yeah.
Give me something about the movie. Let me see and they just give me comic book art. Not even concept art.
Okay, so I'm hoping this next one will be good though.
The last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. What did you just say? I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. Although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway,
what does
those
that
are
mean?
The stories that
It's
I can
disconnected,
tell you about
but
right now.
It's connected.
Yeah.
It's completely.
Pick one.
It's completely outside of the DCU, but it still feed into it.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Swamp Thing.
It's either connected to the universe or it's separate
not.
from it.
Pick one. There's literally just pick one.
It's fine if it's not connected. If it's good, I'm okay with it. But if it's connected, then you're going to tell me it's connected and don't say it's its own separate thing.
This wasn't really anything.
No.
He was just basically listing out a bunch of different comic book characters and saying, this is what we're doing. There's nothing really here to bite into.
I'm just shocked there is no Justice League. Whether you're a big DC fan or someone who just knows DC, you just want Justice League. You just want Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Cyborg,
that's
Aquaman.
Where all the,
that's what we want.
Stories are like,
and you completely ignored that. Basically, like all you'd say is, "I'm writing a story about Superman, coming out 2025."
Yeah.
But you give me background on these other side characters and stories I have no care for. I'm sure there's some people who are comic book fans who have seen this and they love it.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's known for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Even then, it's like the characters that he picked, side characters. Like there's so many side characters in DC. You could have picked like from a million different ones. So many different ones. Like there was also no Martian Manhunter stuff in there.
True.
He's really important, and none of that. The Batman stuff. Which Batman are we even talking at this point? Like, I don't even know. Like, I like Batfleck, and I would love if it was him. He's getting a bit old, sure. But then there was the new Robin Pattinson Batman.
Yeah.
But apparently that's separate, but also connected. I have no idea. You're just saying things.
Yeah. Should we finish the video and then I reckon we've got more to discuss here still.
I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you.
What? You want it different than you've ever seen before. That's the opposite of what people want. We want what we've seen in the comics. We don't want something different.
Yeah. We just want something good. We want good adaptations. We want to see characters we've already seen before. Live action on the big screen. Not even live action. Give me animated. I don't care. But you're trying to, I don't know. It's like if Steve Jobs is trying to tell you need this black box. Okay, it's going to do so many things for you. You need this black box without actually ever telling you what the iPhone is. Like that's what he's doing. He's like, we have these stories. It's great. We're gonna love it. It's fantastic. Give me more. Like
I'm just reading comments while he rambles.
Yeah, I just need more convincing. You need to actually give me evidence as to why this is going to be good. Don't just give me the background and the story of characters which I already know about.
The Batman 2 is titled The Batman Part 2.
Yeah.
The film releases October 3rd, 2025.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be connected to the Superman film.
No.
What the...
But we had to retcon everything, okay? Superman had to go. Some people are coming and it's still a jumbled mess. So we're going to get Batman Part 2. We're going to get the Batman movie with his son.
Brave and Bold, yeah.
Brave and Bold and whatever. And
I'm going to be honest, this didn't inspire any confidence in me. And you know why?
Why?
Because he already flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Like the first thing he came in and said, we're going to make things right. Henry Cavill's staying, they're staying, blah, blah. And then the next week, they're all fired or they're all not coming back. It's like, the first thing you did out the gate was just bad. James Gunn says The Flash is one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Great. I can't wait for it to flop because I feel like most people, even like just people who aren't like, let's discard culture war stuff. Let's just talk about normal people. I think even they've heard about this.
Ezra
like, what he's
Miller,
done, and they're
yeah.
like, this is insane.
Not good.
Because like most movie, to tangentially go a little bit about this, most movie theaters, as soon as anything even happens remotely to criminality, they are fired.
Yeah. Well, Pirates of the Caribbean. As soon as allegations were made for Johnny Depp, boom, scrapped. We're not doing any more of those. We're doing a reboot with girls only.
But it's not just allegations. As soon as like, oh, you got in like a DUI or something, like you were drinking or while you're driving, you get fired because it's criminality. They don't want to be near it.
There was the thing with Shazam right now recently. The actor for Shazam has talked about certain things.
Really?
And now he's been cancelled because of it.
Well, that's a whole can of worms.
That's a whole other video.
Yeah. But with Ezra Miller, it's like, he threatens to kill people. He threatens to do this. Blah, 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 blah. He allegedly does all this stuff.
He's been arrested.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're sticking by him.
Best superhero movie ever made. Fantastic. I was actually
like
waiting.
actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And you've still got the Flash movie going on.
Yeah.
That's a giant red flag. You fired Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot and who was the other one? Batfleck. Well, I think Batfleck was out already, but you just pushed them out.
You out these people. But then as well, you talk about how things are connected, but they're not connected. Like it just feels like a whole bunch of like dribble to me now.
Yep.
And this video wasn't at all like, Superman Legacy. Why Superman Legacy?
There's so many good Superman stories that you can do. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let us know down below what you think, and as always, stay on watch.